All right. This is 60 design ideas in 60 minutes, and the clock starts now with Ben Table. Just let me know when to move the slide.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody. If you can take your seats if you're in the room. If you're in the room, please take your seats, and thank you for everyone joining online. I appreciate this. I don't mind stalling for 30 seconds because I talk fast. Ask my team in Vietnam. They say that when they have a recording of me, they play it back at half speed so they can understand what I'm saying. Okay, so for those of you who were here last year, do not tune out. I have new ideas and fun ideas, so let's make this fun. Let's make it exciting as we go through. Steve, let's start with idea number 1. Moving ahead. Okay, this is a little bit of a redundancy last year, but it never goes without saying. Expand your componentization consideration. Everybody in this room designs for some sort of component. And I would argue anyone to tell me, no, you don't. Well, if you've ever used brick and block, yeah, I know, I pace around. I'll move up here. If you use brick and block, you go 8, 16, 24 inches. You do things based on best practices. Don't limit yourself to small building materials. Consider floor trusses, consider floor cassettes, consider wall panels, consider roof trusses. The population by 2050 is going to grow to a point where we need to design residentially a size of New York City every year to keep up. We also have a shrinking labor force. So we have to design faster. We have to design better. Think of more offsite, controlled environment quality, delivered in assembly in the field. Let's go next. Little pause here. Stop duplicating your work. How many people design kitchens? How many people design every single cabinet in your kitchen? I used to do that. All right. How many people do a roof layout with every single location of a truss? I used to do that. You know, you have truss companies that do that can pull that in. There's a program called 2020 Kitchens that most of your cabinet suppliers are using. Utilize, especially if you're in 3D or even in 2D. Pull in their models, partner with those teams earlier on. So it's not, I have to duplicate my kitchen model. Then I talk with a client. They make changes. I redline it. I send it to my designer. They fix it. Then I have to go to the cabinet company. They have to update their model, bring it back, and then I have to make sure their model matches my model because my stuff's on the drawings, yada, 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 yada. Stop duplicating. Do more collaborating. Bring in your partners instead. Use BIM to simulate your model. If you have an opportunity to create a BIM model in any platform, I don't care if it's Revit, ArchiCAD, etc., the value of BIM is full simulation. You have the capabilities of putting that building virtually in its environment, wind loads, snow loads, all your structural loads, even orientation, latitude and longitude. I can tell a customer 3 o'clock in the afternoon on July 17th, here's how the sun's coming in your kitchen versus at December at the same time. Give yourself the opportunity to simulate, not only to show to the client what you intend to do, start making comparisons. What happens if we increase insulation in the roof? Yeah, it might be $5,000 more, but does it lower your heating and cooling bill by 50%? And what's the payoff on it? We had our lunch group today talking about, yes, it's a more expensive product, but if you look at the lifetime of it, it may be cheaper in the long run. Start educating your customers using the power of simulation on additional investments they may want to make upfront that will pay dividends down the line. Collaboration during design. I just had an awesome example, and I talked with Len back there. Last year, I was speaking about coordinating and getting models from your trusses, and Len had communicated that he had a specific situation where he wanted the duct to go through one spot. The truss company didn't know what he was talking about. They collaborated. They pointed it out. As I always say, fix it with a mouse, not with a Sawzall. So you have the capabilities when you collaborate and you coordinate to have conversations and connect the right stakeholders in early on in the process. This pays dividends down the line because if you don't collaborate, if say you stay architecturally in a silo, structural stays in the silo, MEP stays in the silo, they will eventually collide in a place called the field. And when things collide in the field, they cost more money and they take more time. Allow for a virtual collaboration to happen early and save yourself pennies on the dollar. Okay, this is a big one for our company, MyTech, this year. All that collaboration I just talked about means nothing if you do not coordinate and get commitment from your trades in the field. We have had so many design meetings where I've worked with people, and the architect and the engineer and the MEP designer have signed off, only to go to the field, and guess what? Plumber was the first trade in, and they said, I don't care what these drawings say. I'm going where I want to go. This is an easier path. I can get done 5 hours early. Next day, the phone call comes in. He put a pipe where my duct needs to go. Now we need to stop. Now we need to pause. Now we need to coordinate. Collaboration does not end with design trades. You need to bring in the people in the installation portion and make sure they are committed. And I would much rather have an argument with an installer in a BIM setting where they said, I don't want to go there, I want to go this way. Okay. And then I will move it. And then we'll say, does that work? Or did we just create a new problem? Because unfortunately, trades in most cases are tunnel vision focused on their trade only. So have those conversations and gain commitment from the trades so they don't go rogue in the field and toss all your effort out the window. There we froze. Oh, it's up here. Okay, I'm a BIM guy, so I'm going to talk about BIM. Don't limit yourself to, okay, I'm in BIM. Well, what do you do? Well, I have a 3D model. That's not BIM. That's building modeling. That's 3D. That's been around since 1980s. Utilize the 7 Ds of BIM. Everything from cost, time, simulation we talked about, facilities management. Anyone looking at things more of a green line, consider carbon, consider everything that you can harvest, because with true BIM, you have a virtual build. You have a virtual project. Harvest it, analyze it, simulate it, look at your lifestyle, life cycle. Everything can be put into that. So consider, for most people with BIM, you're in a Ferrari and you have not figured out how to shift out of first gear. Learn how to be really good in first gear first, but then start exploring additional things available to you moving forward. Let's keep on going. Do not be afraid of technology. And I know that this is, we have a diverse group of people within AIBD, but I always start when I'm talking with colleges and universities and even some of our younger team, what an exciting time to be in the design profession. For thousands of years, hand drawing, with the only real technological advancement, blueprinting, being able to support hand drawing. And then all of a sudden in the 1960s, 2D CAD. The 1980s, we're talking 3D. Then in the late 90s, early 2000s, BIM. Now, AI, ML. We're going to have a huge session on AI tomorrow. So you have thousands of years of relative status quo, and you have 80 years of advanced, crazy technology explosion, and we get to be right here. That's exciting. Now, some of you will embrace and jump in with both feet. Some of you need to partner. I have a number of examples of people that still draw by hand, but partner with myself or others on my team, and they get full BIM deliverables. So do you want to learn it? Do you want to partner with someone? Do you want an easy button to have someone do it for you? Fine. But this is not a fad. Technology is not slowing down, and don't be afraid of it. My best advice is, if we could mesh the wisdom and passion of the experience of AIBD with the latest technology trends, wow, that's incredible. And it leads directly into customer service. Empower your teams and delegate. Don't be a logjam. I go to office after office, not just smaller design offices. I work with some of the top production builders around the world that are doing 20 to 30,000 houses a year. And without fail, you will find relatively 2 to 3 log jams in each group, because someone is so, I have to have it done this way. Empower your team. If you say, well, I'm my own team, what can you do to bring other people on? Can you consult? Can you collaborate? How can you make it so it's not you being the log jam? All right, design greener. I don't mean like that. Let's go to the next slide because it's a long part of that. But as you're designing greener, go to the next slide, Steve. Construction landfill waste right now is 50% of all landfill waste worldwide. Going back to my earlier slide, we're going to be building the size of New York City by 2050 every year for residential. We have to design greener, or we are going to virtually destroy our planet if we continue to have this much waste overflow. We're starting to catch up with carbon. We're starting to look at things like reusable, recyclable content, but consider that. And again, consider when we talk about this, it's connected to offsite and fabrication. We have some plants, if you tour a plant that has automation equipment, it's calculating not only the board to cut, but what to do with the leftover piece. I've been to several of these automation plants that are using timber for wall panels, floor cassettes, and roof trusses. And for a full production week, the amount of waste fits in a single dumpster because everything is optimized and they're utilizing technology to be as efficient as possible. As we move forward, we have to rely on more of that to make sure that we do best use of the resources we have available to us. Okay. Train yourself, not out of your job, into your new job. Pop quiz. What's the painting? Mona Lisa. Who's the artist? Da Vinci. Do you know that there's a fake Mona Lisa out there? Next slide, Steve. Actually, that's just a comedy thing. Can you go back a slide, Steve? Back a slide. That's a fake Mona Lisa. But it was so close and precise. Why? Da Vinci had an apprentice who was shoulder to shoulder with him, painting the Mona Lisa as he painted the Mona Lisa. Stroke for stroke, color for color, step by step in the process. And that's actually, I believe, that fake one sold for over $3 million at auction recently, even being known that it was a fake because it was the apprentice who worked with Da Vinci. Why do I say all this? Remember that empower your team and delegate? None of you have ever painted the Mona Lisa. So if any of you say, my job's too complex, what I do is too critical and complicated, there's no way I can spend the time and effort and train up an apprentice someone to do that, just remember this. You're fooling yourself. You can. I can. And it's into what do you want to do? Empower the organization, empower the people with you, and learn how to delegate. But in doing so, understand empowerment comes with pouring in wisdom and acknowledging that you can't do it all. And even if you can do it all as one person. So leave your mark and leave a legacy for people moving forward. That's my last slide.
Thanks, Ben. Ted Hake. Ted Hake, I think you're on deck next. Yep, there you go. I done ruined the surprise. I made pictures for you.
He made pictures for me. All right, Ted Hake. My design ideas are a little different. My design ideas are a little different. I was online and I saw the new design trends, and it said something that I've been doing for years. It said in walk-in showers, you should put the controls right here, not way over under the shower head. I thought I've been doing that for many, many years. That's not me. So I thought, well, what design trends do we need to bring back? So we need to bring back shag carpet. Everybody needs to be able to plug up a vacuum with 3 inches of carpet. It's got great insulation value, noise value. Need to bring that back. Next thing we need to bring back is the kitchen carpet. This carpet we're on was in everybody's kitchen and bathroom, and the linoleum that you spread out. Need to bring that back, scratch it. You can never fix it. You have to replace it. Next thing I thought about, the large cast iron tubs in a bathroom. Yes, they're heavy, they're bulky, but they kept the water warm. And if you fell, you hurt yourself. On top of that, remember the big oversized sunken tubs? Those things would take 80 gallons of hot water right out of the tank and never have any mercy on it. It would just take every bit of hot water out. Oh, I'm no good at this. I'm in the northern climate, and we like our fireplaces. The great, big, massive masonry fireplace with the wood box. And you put the wood in it for months and hope the bugs wouldn't come out before you needed to burn the wood, which had happened. In that room, paneling would be great. Put paneling back up on the walls. Take some pledge, some furniture polish. Makes it look like new when the neighbors are coming over. No wallpaper, no paint. We could also, in the kitchen, the landline phone. The phone that was bolted to the wall with the 20-foot cord that you were told to untangle every now and then. I don't know if any of you remember that or not. The next thing, family entertainment's very important. So indoor entertainment, you had the TV tower with the TV antenna and the clicker box on top of your TV that click, 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 click. to get the antenna to get the station you want. Well, outdoor fun at my age, when I was there, it was great to climb up on the roof with that tower. So it gave you exercise. It gave you an escape from older brothers trying to beat you up. Very important. Anybody remember the outdoor antennas? No, yeah. So one other thing I thought about was the metal kitchen cabinets. If you dented them, you scratched them, you pounded them out, painted them. Easy to take care of. A little bit of rust every now and then, but you oiled them. That was fine. The next thing I thought of to bring back, and for good reason. Oh, Brandon's on. I stopped. That's all right. I went past. Yeah, there we go. Oh, another one. Single pane windows need to be brought back because in the wintertime, when you hit them with the snowball and they break, they're very cheap to replace. Very cheap to replace. The last one I had, don't know who's going to remember this, that 1,000-watt red light bulb in the bathroom that scorched your head and dried your feet. You know, they're in the hotels. So if you got other ideas like that to bring back, there's a reason they're gone. Don't bring them back. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Now I'm thinking that we're going to have to take a quick pause here because I don't think. Yeah, I messed up. Hang on. I forgot to connect the audio. All right, we should be ready to go now. Week at International Building Show, and you got to retrain me.
Hey everyone, I hope this finds you doing well and enjoying North Myrtle Beach. I truly, truly wish that I could be with you. I can say that I'm by water, but Cleveland and Lake Erie hardly compare to the ocean. I would like to thank Steve and the conference committee for inviting me back to present in this year's 60 Design Ideas in 60 Minutes. It truly is an honor to be among such great company. So if you're ready, let's go. One of the biggest hassles in hillside homes and established communities is the fact that it's often difficult or even impossible to renovate or improve in the way that we would want to, or in some locations, as we would be required to. We can design new steps, but we still have steps. We could design a ramp, but really, it's not even a ramp, as much as it would be a sliding board that will likely result in your death when you end up in the road. If you are fortunate enough to replace or have a new construction project, eliminate the hassle by opening the lower floor. It provides a safer entry and easier access. By only adding the cost of retaining walls, this can be a very smart solution to a problem that faces many. In nearly every city or township, you will see a subdivision or neighborhood in which every house looks nearly the same. This was a big deal back in the 70s, the 80s, and the early 90s. While this concept proved successful for many communities, it has left the current owners with a choice. When the roof gets old, the windows are bad, and the siding is just, well, ugly. The choice is to simply replace or be different than the rest of the neighborhood. Different was the choice of this owner. While only adding a mere 160 square feet in a total transformation of the backyard, the goal of different was achieved in dramatic form, proving that renovations do not have to be big to be different. Sometimes It is that one room that somehow barely passed as a bedroom. Sometimes it's the back room in a garage, or the odd corner in a basement. Perhaps it is that outbuilding in the backyard that you simply have no plan for. In every new home I do, as well as renovation, I try to place just as much focus and creativity in the small spaces as I do the large. I also try to think beyond the typical uses of storage or just a workshop. This particular small space, located in a backyard amidst a garden, has been designed as a family chapel for 12 for a pastor and his family that I happen to know very well. You actually do too. Arches are not just for that burger place. While a lot of contemporary design focuses on bold straight lines, which by the way I do love, I also believe there is still a place for arches. For centuries, arches were a commanding feature in architecture, and in many areas have all but disappeared from residential design. If the style fits, I believe arches still create a focal point and a driving force in residential design, whether they're being used as a portico, used to highlight an entry, or to simply remind us of an era that is perhaps slipping away. Arches still have their place. My fifth concept begins with a question, and that is very simply, are moats really a bad thing? I think most of us can agree that every single residential design can be improved with a moat. Incorporating water features at the main entry, while not exactly a moat, can offer an incredibly unique presence, whether it is a fountain or simply a shallow concrete pond. Water features add endless possibilities in regard to reflections, lighting, and a sense of grandeur that would otherwise not be achieved through a simple concrete sidewalk, grass, or other plantings. And in regard to the drawbridge, well, perhaps we'll see that in the next project. While certainly not a new concept, I tend to think courtyards are not incorporated enough. In a world of neighbors that believe they should see, hear, and know everything you do, courtyards are often a solution. These provide privacy, expanded living spaces, and can serve multiple functions in regard to entertaining or simply a place to relax. If possible, I incorporate them in both rural and urban settings, and for all sizes of homes. In recent years, many courtyards have been included in homes ranging from 1,100 to 3,000 square feet. So it does not have to simply be occupants of larger homes that enjoy these. Instead, it can be any owner simply looking for some quiet, private time outdoors. Quite often, we focus on building features to determine the look of the home, the doors, the windows, the tiles, and so on. When the situation allows, I try to allow nature to determine the look of the home. While not always possible due to, pesky neighbors and such, this concept does allow for an ever-changing backdrop for the owner. In this case, it's not what makes up and is visible from inside, but what is outside. For the right owner, the biggest advantage of this is that every day is different, and using natural elements allows the owner to transform an interior space with minimal effort. The owner of this home said to me after about a year, "It's great. What we see in January is so much different than what we see in June. It's like living in an IMAX theater, except here, I don't have to share my popcorn." While drawbridges are not part of a typical home, see, I told you we'd come back to this, bridges themselves can be. With all of the advances in just the last 20 years in structural components, such as LVLs, floor trusses, and the like, the idea of interior bridges is an easier concept than it once was. To be able to connect spaces with something other than just a hallway allows endless possibilities. And if you want to add an even more unique look, use the strength of materials like glass block and the flexibility of LED lighting. They are small things that make a huge impact when it comes to things like bridges. If you have heard me present in the past, you know that I take great pride in designing smaller, truly affordable homes. These homes often range between a 600 and 1,000 square foot footprint and take advantage of the very latest in architectural advances and are ultimately owner friendly. This home, at its widest point, is a mere 16 feet, while boasting soaring ceilings that take advantage of the sun and the views, an open plan, and a master suite that rivals any top resort, and even a loft with a library ladder, maximizing every square foot of living space, proving that truly affordable housing, focused on the needs of the owner and not the profit line, built on a practical, efficient footprint, is not only possible, but can be done well. Face it, for those of you who have a home office or work primarily from your home, we all tend to share the same reality. We spend more time in our home office than perhaps any other room in our home. This is a room that I believe requires much more thought than just where to put the desk, but rather should be met with the same thoughtfulness that we give our clients. The environment should offer us inspiration. The layout should always focus on production. And for those of you who have clients coming to them, always make the office accessible, such as adding its own door, so that you never have to worry about privacy, the privacy of your family, or the dirty dishes in the sink.
All right. That was Brandon Cloak. Obviously, he wasn't able to make it. Situation came up, but he was obviously put a lot of work to get into that. I would say. So, Dennis, you ready?
Ten design features in however minutes I've got. Okay, go ahead. Front porches, bringing back the time when neighbors greeted each other from the front porch. Porches show hospitality and bring a measure of warmth to the house. Go ahead. Stone veneer. Often this breaks up the look of siding, adding an air of elegance. In wooded or mountainous settings, it can help a house fit with its surroundings. Sorry, I'm trying to read my own handwriting. It's not easy. Number 3, pool house with an in-ground pool. This feature allows for the family and others gathering for entertainment. The pool, though seasonal, is one of the biggest favorites out there. And the pool house can also be set up for year-round entertainment and serve as a guest house. Go ahead. Number 4, another outdoor cooking and living area, another place to gather. However, this feature lends itself towards relaxing instead of the vigorous activity of a pool, and really helps people to get to know each other. I think more so even than a pool, unless it's the bar. So, number 5, a large kitchen island. My wife made me put this in. For those who host big family gatherings or just gatherings, this is a necessity. It allows you to lay everything out. It allows you to prep beforehand. It's just one of those things that if you're hosting, this is the only way to go. Now I got to try to keep up. A hidden baker's or prep pantry. That's what I call it. I don't know the actual term of this one. I haven't found one consistent term. They're also sometimes used as a coffee bar. They're usually hidden behind a cabinet. I love that feature, to be able to have this big cabinet with doors that go into another room. It's like a secret layer. It's just awesome. This is a great place to hide the prep of a meal for large gatherings and stuff like that. Just one of my favorites. Number 7 is a large laundry room. This allows for and usually the large laundry room on the same level as the majority of the sleeping areas. This allows for minimal moving of large amounts of laundry, especially if you have a lot of teenagers. And it also, the size also allows you to be able to fold your laundry in areas and hang things up, do all your laundry tasks. Next. Oh, sorry, I forgot they did that. Home office with a separate entrance, exterior entrance. With more people working from home, a home office has become almost a necessity. For a lot, like I work from a home office. If you have clients, an exterior, I'm sorry, an exterior door is necessary, because then they're not going through the house to your office. It actually is more professional. It looks more professional. I also like them to have a media closet, because that allows for things like if you have a lot of smart devices and stuff like that, if you have a place to where you can hook up network lines throughout the house or anything like that, you have a place to hide it all. So that's number 8. Number 9 is a home theater media room. This is one of my favorites. This room just allows for great entertainment with the family, especially. It's a place where everybody can go. It feels like you're going to the movie theater. With the price of movie tickets nowadays, it's probably more affordable to put one of these in your house. So it's a great feature, and done right, it can be a big feature of a house. Number 10, now this is my favorite, and it's a throwback, and it's a library with full ceiling to wall, floor to ceiling bookshelves, and a ladder that rolls around the entirety. The one that I want would be an old English library with all the wood, all the detail, real dark, with just one light that you sit and read by. So that's my 10. Huh? Oh, you're going to make me do both of them. Okay. That's great. Yeah. So I asked AI, I asked them, I said, give me 10 design features for a residential home that I can speak about in 6 minutes, make it informal and humorous. And this is what it gave me. Number 1, go ahead. Open floor plans, the social butterfly's dream. Imagine a space so open you can't even play hide and seek. Open floor plans tear down those pesky walls so your kitchen, dining, and living areas can finally mingle. It's like hosting a party where everyone's invited, including your slightly awkward kitchen island. Number 2, smart home tech, the lazy genius. Why lift a finger when you can have a robot do it? Smart home technology is for those who've thought, I wish I could turn off the lights with my mind. Well, now you can, sort of. It's the closest you'll get to being a Jedi in your own home. Number 3, sustainable materials, the earth hugger. Eco-friendly is the new black. Using sustainable materials means your house is literally hugging trees. Bamboo floors, recycled countertops, and walls that don't off-gas toxins. Because who wants to live in a house that's silently judging you for your carbon footprint? Number 4, natural light maximization, the vampire's bane. If you love sunlight so much you want to marry it, this is for you. Large windows and skylights invite the sun to hang out, making your home so bright you'll need shades indoors. Say goodbye to the dungeon vibe and hello to vitamin D overdose. Number 5, indoor-outdoor flow, the nature whisperer. Why choose between indoors and outdoors when you can have both? Large sliding doors make it so easy to transition, you'll forget where the house ends and nature begins. It's perfect for those who want to live outside but aren't ready to commit to being full-time squirrels. Number 6, multi-purpose rooms, the space magician. One room, many hats. Today it's an office, tomorrow a yoga studio with a side of guest bedroom. Multi-purpose rooms are like the Swiss Army knives, but instead of tools, they sprout furniture. Ideal for those who love surprises and have commitment issues with space planning. Number 7, bold colors, the mood booster, I'm sorry. Beige, never heard of that. Bold colors bring life to a room faster than a reality TV makeover. It's for those who want their walls to scream personality so loud guests need earplugs. Number 8. Okay. Pet-friendly spaces, the furry companion's paradise. Because pets are family and they deserve luxury too. Think built-in feeding stations, cat highways, and doggy doors to lead to adventures. It's like designing a theme park where the guests are always fur-covered. Number 9, hidden storage, the clutter assassin. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Hidden storage solutions are like magic tricks for your clutter. Suddenly, everything you own has a secret layer. Perfect for those who aspire to be minimalists, but can't part with their stuff. And number 10, outdoor living spaces, the backyard bliss. Your backyard isn't just for gnomes anymore. Outdoor living spaces with fire pits, kitchens, and comfy seating are like a vacation spot, steps from your back door. Ideal for those who like the idea of camping, but require a Wi-Fi signal. So I took these. This is literally every part of this. The AI wrote and produced, including the shows. I read everything exactly the way they did it. So that's the power of AI.
Thank you, AI, and thank you, Dennis Fletcher. So later on in the hospitality suite, ask me about the AI prompt that we had at our pizza party in Las Vegas last week. I think I still have it on my phone. Sarah Drescher.
Thanks, Steve. All right. I'll try to keep it to 10 minutes. Okay. I do a lot of lighting with luxury integrated technologies, and I see a lot of stairs and a lot of linear, and it makes a lot of sense, right? Because stairs are linear, and it kind of makes sense to complement them. Next slide. Here's another unique application where we use just the handrail to illuminate. Does anyone know the required foot candles for stairs? Anyone? It's like 1 foot candle. So what I'm seeing, next slide, is a trend with way too much light. And especially for our older clients, it's a little difficult to see the depth of the stairs when we overflow with light. Next slide. So using a point source to kind of compete with that linear is actually a really good design trend. Next. Under the stairs. So as many of you know, I did not grow up with this show. Can anyone tell me the name of this pet? Monsters. Who's the pet? Who's this? Spot. Who said it? Joel? No? All right. Spot. Very good. I'm seeing a big push towards utilizing that space under the stairs. Oh, I'm sorry. Next. So we're seeing it turned into little nooks for books. Next. AV, as the technology person, we're utilizing that space to tuck all that stuff that we need to power the home, put network in, all those things that make it all fun into this little space so we don't impede on anywhere else in the home for the client. Next. This was a really cool project. I know this is a little difficult to say, but right now we're just using plywood to hold up the cover for this, but that's a slide. So we're letting that, and we were working on this project, so I don't have the finished piece yet, but the kids can push a button, lift up, and go to the basement that way instead. So that was a cool use of under the stairs. Next. Thanks. Okay, put wafers in your mouth is number 3, not on your projects. So I'm seeing a lot of builders with their electricians just divert back to these wafer pancake lights. And again, as our clients are getting older and trying to utilize their home for longer, it's not a good solution from a lighting perspective. We see a lot of lumens. Sorry, I keep walking away. Lumens lost. You only get about 2-foot candles down at the floor versus 24-foot candles, and really get that illumination. The other thing here is glare. It's actually really harmful from a headache perspective. Oh dear Lord. It's okay. Wafers. Yep. So the message here is put wafers in your mouth and not on your projects. That's okay. Welcome home is number 4. We're seeing a lot of linear again being utilized to guide people's way home and welcome them to their residence. A lot of the linear again can be recessed actually into pavement now, and you could drive over it, and it really makes a nice little accent feature. Next. Also a welcoming area outside the gate and highlighting those architectural features that you guys put in your projects. Really beautiful. Next. Okay, another trend I'm seeing is highlighting beauty, and this is kind of a 3-part thing here. So when you're clicking, the first part is highlighting the things that are beautiful to your clients. So plants, sculptures, finding really point source again, lighting to really highlight those features in the home. Great focal points. And then you guys add your beautiful architectural features. So make sure you highlight those areas, right? Textured walls. Next. Beautiful brick. Next. Stone. Lighting, right? All these features. And then, sorry for the wording behind it, but also how about highlighting the beauty of your clients? We see a lot of this linear piece here being put into closets so that Mrs. can check out how she looks in her mirror in her closet without having to go back and forth to the restroom. Next. So we see a lot of this linear being implemented in these spaces. Next. Lots of pictures, guys. Also for bathrooms. Next. Immersive environments. This one's super cool. So home theaters are obviously a added bonus for homes. We're seeing these get even deeper into the thrill of the picture. So these are basically pixelized walls, and they can stream whatever is on the content of your TV throughout the space. So it's a really cool immersive experience there. Next, we're seeing this get put into gyms, which is really cool. This is a completely windowless area. And this gym really still makes you feel open and have that nice yoga experience. This one is so cool. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's water there and we're rowing, right? And there's trees. And as we are whooshing, rowing by, we're moving through the water and through the trees. So truly immersive experience. Technology is pretty cool. Another one, and as we keep going, you'll see a lot of mine are kind of like AI. So I might have artificial intelligence myself, but automate your daylight. We're seeing a lot of drapery trends coming back, some of that soft treatments as well as hard treatments being incorporated together. Next. With our windows getting bigger, we want to make sure that we can automate them, motorize, make it easy for them to be controlled. All different styles and fabrics. And then having a duo type of option where you can allow them to control, especially if it's in a bedroom or even a home theater, a blackout experience, as well as and having the cheer on top of that. Next. Has anyone seen this TV before? This is nuts. It unfolds out of the ground. It's crazy. But like the AI, extending your living space outside, This was a job we did for the owner of some team in Birmingham. I think it's baseball. And they overlooked the whole city, but they couldn't really enjoy this terrace space because it wasn't really enclosed from all the elements. So adding outdoor screens to really make that extended living space a reality was really beneficial for this client. Next slide, and you can see the other angle of that space. Notice how we are extending TVs and other parts of technology into this space. Oh, here's another cool one. That's an outdoor projector screen. We're seeing that trend too. So that shade outside could be a projector screen too. Multi-use. Protection, number 9, a lot of power protection. This was a job in Tennessee that we did. The client had a lot of requirements, and here in the Southeast, we actually have really crappy power. We're one of the most vulnerable for lightning strikes, and all of the network and all the investment that your guys are putting in for technology could be lost at the drop of a hat. So having some form of protection is really important. Next slide. This is just some of that equipment. So you definitely want to make sure you plan to allocate space for these things. Next. Or even a big old wall, depending on how much they want to back up. Actually, that's how I met this group, was planning a energy storage project with Robert Platt. Hey, Robert. Okay, number 10. The last one is kind of, Jenny, we did a presentation with this just on the big black box challenge, right? That TV. We have this beautiful fireplace and wow, black box right there. What do we do? That's why the frame has been becoming really popular, that TV with the frame around it to make it look like a picture. But what do you do when it's in stone, right? You got to make sure you plan for having receptacles and all your cable networks back there so that you guys are prepared. One way to overcome this is by using a projection screen. So we're seeing this trend also come back as well. See how in this image, the projector drops down. They still maintain their beautiful view of the beachfront while also being able to experience entertainment. That's it. What I do.
Thank you very much. All right, so how much time do we have left? Oh, geez, there I go again. We got 10 minutes, which means we're right on schedule, but I got surprised by the 10 AIs, and so I had 20. So you're going to end up actually getting 80 ideas here, I think, in 60 minutes. So bonus, right? This is the New American Home 2024 in Las Vegas. I had the opportunity to go out and see it the evening before the show opened. There's a garage on the left, 2-car garage on the right. You can see right straight through the house. So that's not the design idea. This was kind of a cool nook that they built right off the entryway, wine room to the right, and then that glass to the left goes to the front outside area. Shower head with a speaker in it, a Bluetooth speaker, so that you can still listen to your podcast while you're taking a shower. That was by Kohler, by the way, not a sponsor. But in the same shower, in the same shower, tell me what's missing in this shower. What can't you see? A drain. I heard a drain. That's right. See how the bench has a little alcove underneath? They hid the drain underneath the bench instead of taking the bench straight down to the floor. I thought this was, I even went up to the designer at the party and I'm like, you know what? You're going to think I'm stupid, but this was the most coolest idea. And he's like, yeah, everybody likes something different. This was the theater room. They took the pivot doors and made a wall out of it, which I thought was pretty cool. And it was also open on the other side that had sliding doors. Across from the theater, this is a den. Now, this is not a new idea. If you go to the American Residential Design Awards page and look at some of the past couple years winners, you'll see a lot of studies that are being built with glass walls around them. I don't keep my study that clean. I couldn't live with glass walls. This was an idea that's kind of developed over the last few years. I got an ARTO award for creating an island that was an indoor-outdoor island. It went from the kitchen to the indoor kitchen to the outdoor kitchen with a sliding glass door that bisected it, and then you slid the tops together. We started the concepts of that, and I walked into the 2020 New American Home designed by the same designer, and Shazam, there's a kitchen island that flows out onto the patio with the sliding doors going through it. So it's like great minds think alike. Well, this year they did it again, but you can see it's a little more subtle. It's off to the right there where it just separates the cabinetry along the wall. I think this is a video, but first, before I start it, what I want to show you is like that's the master bedroom, and 3 sides of it are like open, or 2 sides anyway. That there's a opening on the other side too, but it doesn't wrap around the corner like this. It's just all pocketing doors. I would love this bedroom because I sleep outdoors. If it wasn't raining last night, I'd have been sleeping on the balcony of the hotel. I still might tonight. My wife would never allow that. We'd live in different houses, which we have. But now watch the video and look up above at the structural elements holding up the overhang. You kind of see those steel posts with little lights flaring out at the top. We'll keep that in mind. There's another angle. They don't quite look as illuminated, but I had never seen this before. I thought it would be great to share, but somehow there's a glass panel that goes through the center of the flanges. I don't think it goes all the way through the post, and they light it up. So there's a closer version there. So that I thought was pretty cool as well. And this is, I just remodeled my bathroom, and there was a miscommunication between me and the tile setter, which probably was me hesitating in telling them what I exactly wanted. But I really did want vertical tile put in, but it ended up going horizontal. But here's an example of how they took that same theme and carried it across the ceiling and then all the way up the front of the shower. And then I thought this was kind of cool. If you look real close, it's got the name of the wine rooms, Vintage View. So in this wine room, and I counted, there was like 300 and some bottles of wine. Each row was 27. I remember that. But out of all these hundreds of bottles of wine, I saw that one and had to take a picture because I'm like, what great marketing. Somewhere you can find a wine person that'll private label a bottle for you, and you should be showing off. And so this is my bad. The one I was telling you about, you can see that the tile goes horizontally. It still looks okay, but what it was originally a 3x3 stand-up shower and a 3x5 tub that Ted Hake doesn't like. And so I had this wall that went up between the two, and I didn't want to spend the money to redo the whole ceiling. So I came up with this design, where what it is I took 3 1x3s, painted them black, and then spaced them, and then took the 1x6s, stained them to match the vanity cabinets, held them 4 inches from the wall. You can't tell because of the bad lighting, but we took the flanges down from the recessed lights and had them painted black and put them back up there. So that's how I handled the situation without having to do the whole roof. And then this is one of Garrett's neighbors. I think it's new because we haven't noticed it before, but they have a gate. You can see the gate there on the left that goes to their driveway. And apparently they were having trouble getting their mail because they built this 4x4 fence that just sticks out there with the thing on it. Now, I went by it twice, and there's a garbage can hidden behind it. But wouldn't it be cool if you built like this Amazon shelf on the backside with little, flares on the side that would kind of hide what's back there, somewhere to put the packages when they come. This is Scott Cook's house. He won an art award. Now I'm moving into this. I'm done with the new American home and then my personal discoveries around our house. Now I'm moving on to the American Residential Design Awards because a call for entries opens next week. And so what I liked about this porch is that the flooring, if you notice, is going out perpendicular from the main house wall. It's not running parallel. How many times do you see porch decks, especially in pictures of companies selling porch deck material, running it parallel with the wall? The correct way to do it, right, Scott, is perpendicular to the wall. And this is another art winner done by Dan Sater. And that's the kitchen that you see. But there's a hidden kitchen behind it. And it's like this little porthole in between that goes to there. And then there's the floor plan. It kind of shows the layout and the pass through. And Dennis, I think you hit on this about those hidden pantries. If you go back through the 2023 Art of Winning pictures, you'll find at least a half dozen houses that have hidden kitchens or pantries with all the utilities mostly in these hidden areas, so that the kitchens themselves are nice and clean just for serving, not for really cooking. And there may be more. Maybe I haven't discovered them because they're hidden so well. And this, I was just playing with arches because whoever designed this, I think, did a good job, because you want to keep the same principle on how you determine the radius of the arch, and it's going to change based on the span of the opening. So the concept of having one arch a little flatter than the other is good, but I wanted to play with the picture a little bit and kind of see if it didn't look better if the spring lines all lined up. So I'm still sitting on the fence on that. I'll let you guys decide. And then this was another Art of Winter that had kind of an interesting element, maybe a little bit over the top, but it looked kind of cool on the inside, I thought. And then Ted Hake beat me to this idea, bringing back the fireplace that had wood storage. One of our Art of Winters also had a spot underneath. They don't actually have wood in it, but I'm guessing that's what the spaces underneath the hearth would be. This was our Best in Show by Matheson Architects, I think in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The windows are kind of asymmetrical, but they kept the beams and the posts, and then even the sliding glass doors. Even though the sliding glass doors obviously aren't load bearing, they lined up the panels. Everything worked out mathematically, so it looks like the sliding glass doors are holding up the structure. And then, you know, I'm kind of getting tired of the barn doors, but then I saw one that you couldn't see the hardware, and now I'm a fan again. And like I said, the American Residential Design Awards opens March 11th. Please enter. So thank you very much. We had 27 seconds to spare. Great job, team. So I want to thank our sponsors today. We had Diamond Coat and Wasau Building Supply. I think I'm still saying that correctly. And then tonight, you're going to also see MyTech, Hauska.ai, Lit, which is luxury integrated technology, Vinco Windows. Who am I forgetting? Go visit Harry Booty out in the entryway. Hopefully you already have. He's like our registration desk sponsor. So Vinco. By Winco. Thank you. I think I got them all, but let's go. Let me buy you a beer or a wine or something. We'll see you next door.